Welcome back, guys. Today just a quick recap on what happened on a few currencies like Dash, where we were looking in the previous days. This trade line that was sustained. We had a trend line like this and we were monitoring this pattern, whether we are going to break down or not. We sustained nicely this support, and I'm still of opinion that Dash is forming one of the best bullish pattern there is. Dash is generally lagging the market, right? Not following the recent gains that other altcoins had. And what we've seen on the market in the past week is increased correlation of top few cryptocurrencies among Ethereum, Zcash, Litecoin, even Bitcoin and Ripple, of course. And Dash is kind of out of this group. The recent news that had was they're partnering up with some mainstream providers to bring Dash closer to the general public, and I think this is what it could give it a later kick. So we've established a nice trading over the $90 trade mark, and as we've discussed in one of the previous sessions, I expect here a build up and a potential breakdown, and this is a huge potential, right? If we break out, we're going to have at least 30% upside from these levels, and yeah, that is always good. A risk-reward profile on this trade is super good. So if you are a long-term player on the edge on the long term, then you won't have troubles with this trade. Yeah, it is at least 2 to 1. One thing that although is not speaking into our direction is the MACD recent broken line. We won't see it, I guess, today, or again some problems with the trading view. But yeah, if you take a look, we're going to see a broken trade line, which by itself it's not a bearish signal, but we need to keep an eye whether enough strength will be built up here for a major upside. Yeah, today we're not gonna take a look at Ethereum and Ripple, as I told you, or some other currencies. As I've told you, the correlation is super increased, and we've seen the similar movement on all charts, and after such a major upside, the sideways movement is expected and some retracement. So I don't really see any buying into this last maybe upside potential. The risk reward on this trade is just not sufficient. What I would like to talk is a Bitcoin, right? We had a major upside over $600 probably in 1 week, and we've seen some selling pressure here. Also potentially bearish pattern for correction is forming. Finally, the indicators are working now. You see here, we discussed the last week, if you remember from the session. What we have is a divergence with divergence with our indicator MACD, moving average convergence divergence, and our price on the chart is going up, while basically we've achieved lower trend line and lower line on the MACD, which is generally quite a strong bullish signal. So I would not enter any upside positions here, right? The risk is just too high, and we've seen extended gains on Bitcoin. Even further, Bitcoin actually have, I don't know whether you are aware of it, but there is a huge backlog of unfulfilled transactions building on the Bitcoin. And actually, if you want to exercise a transaction without any additional costs, I think right now is around $1 if you want to just skip the line and exercise the transaction immediately. And there is about a backlog of 100,000 transactions that are not fulfilled, and it would take 11 hours of those, of course. If now another transaction would be made that time, which is which is impossible. So there are some problems, and these costs are going to even rise. I don't see how this should support the further bullish movement on the short term. So I'm quite skeptical here, and I would wait for some retracement, maybe until the next support line at 1700, and then move from there. So be cautious on this movement, and don't jump the gun. I want to talk about Ripple because it had one of the most interesting news among all. Basically, what they want to do is they have revealed a new plan for the consensus ledger, right? It should be more secure, efficient, and decentralized than Bitcoin or even Ethereum, because at this point, basically at Bitcoin, around 5 mining pools could control the mining and could potentially revert the transactions or use it in their own advantage. And on Ethereum, it's basically 3 biggest mining pools. So Ripple really wants to work into that direction to make it even more secure, even more decentralized, right? Bitcoin is all about decentralization, and Ripple wants to take it really on the next step. So these are potentially major upside catalysts, right? I don't know whether how much of this is priced in, because the previous hype was basically on the Ripple working in the banks, and this could give it additional boost. So let's keep an eye on this, what's going to happen in the future. Maybe if there's some potential good movement, we'll be on it. So stay with us, and we'll talk to you back again tomorrow.